Hey, what's happening, guys? Welcome back to the Monster Bass channel. My name is Jeremy with Fishing the Lone Star. If you have not yet, go subscribe to my channel. It'll be linked below. But let me tell you what's happening today. I'm going to show you what I believe is the best pond fishing bait. That's right, I'm out here at a local neighborhood pond, about to strap on the chest cam. I'll show you the rig and hopefully catch some fish. Let's roll. All right, so first and foremost, what I believe is one of the best pond fishing baits is the Nico rigged worm. So what I have here is the muscle back fat finesse worm. It's a 6-inch kind of a trick tail worm, straight tail trick worm by X-Zone Lures, but it floats. It'll stand up off the bottom like this. So we're gonna talk about that here in a minute, but let me show you first how I'm gonna rig this. I've already got a hook tied on. I'll show you the finesse hook that I'm using. It's kind of a circle hook. I forget who makes this hook, but something like this is what you'll need to get. And then to set up the Nico style, let me show you what I'm working with. So other than obviously the bait and the hook, there's 3 things you need. First one is a nail weight. Now you can see I've taken a traditional nail weight that looks like this, and I broke it in half because I don't really need the whole thing. And you're going to insert that right in the nose of the bait. So I'm just going to push that right in there. Take a minute to kind of work it in, but you want to make sure that that nail, you can see it there, but you just want to make sure, I need to push that a little bit further. You want to make sure that it's not sticking out at all. So sometimes you have to pull your plastic up over it, and now you can see it is not sticking out. But that gives me a little bit of weight down here for that worm to stand up. The next 2 things is an O-ring. I just have a clear one here, so I will just slide that. What I like about the trick worm is I don't need an O-ring tool. I can just slide that right down on the worm. And I said there was 3 things. I guess there's only 2 because the 3rd one actually is the hook. But I think it's important to note how I'm hooking it. I'm going to leave this O-ring probably a little bit higher up the worm, about there, not quite midway. And then when I hook it, what I like to do is to get a little bit of plastic and then obviously get that O-ring just like that. Now let's get to fishing with this, and I'll tell you why I believe this is the best bait for pond fishing. All right, some people would call that a wacky rig because it's going to hang like so. It's a Nico rig though, because there's a weight in the head. So all right, that's going to stand up off the bottom somewhere like this. Now the reason why I believe this is one of the best pond fishing baits, first of all, that plum color works pretty much year round. Second of all, ponds are notorious for grass. I mean, you can see the one right here in front of me, there's grass and kind of what I call just gunk, sometimes moss, a little bit everywhere. So you need a hook that is going to be off the bottom, and this allows me almost 2.5, and even if I moved it up, 3 inches of clearance off the bottom of the water before my hook is hitting any of that moss or grass. And it's still somewhat weedless, so I can bring this through pretty much anything. But the way it's rigged, that's going to allow some of that moss and gunk to hit the worm up here and to avoid hitting my hook. Now I'm still going to get some, it's going to happen, but that's the idea. And this will work year round, fall, winter, spring, summer, to catch bass. Now that I said that, hopefully I can catch some today. Let's find out. Now with this setup as well, it doesn't really matter if you use a bait caster or a spinning reel. I just prefer a bait caster. What is important though is use a very sensitive rod. Now this rod is on the higher end. It's a TFO Tactical Elite Bass Rod, 7.3 medium heavy fast action, but it's extremely sensitive. So I like it for even finesse techniques. I can feel everything. TFO makes a great lineup of rods, make sure you check them out. But this is just the one that I use because I can feel everything on the bottom. So the Retrieval here, I'm just gonna let that bait sink to the bottom. I'm gonna try to keep it somewhat tight and just barely hop it or scoot it along the bottom edge, okay? Now right now I'm coming over on the edge of this grass, so I may leave it there just a little bit, see if there's any fish that may scoot out from under the grass and come eat that worm. But if not, I can pull it right out of that grass in just a minute and should be able to come out pretty well, pretty much snag free. There's a bite. Oh, that's actually a pretty decent fish. There we go. He took my worm. That's a chunky, fat little thing right there. Got it right in the corner of the mouth. That's a pretty healthy little fish. Oh, and I told you that worm floats. There it is, right there. Worm floats, just like I told you it did. There we go, that O-ring is still attached right there. Got a pretty chunky, fat little bass. It's a good one. See if we can get some more. I was out there on the edge of that grass. So see if we can catch another one out there. So I'll show you again how I'm rigging that in case it wasn't very clear earlier. I'm taking my worm, taking my O-ring. With these trick tail worms, there's got a point at the end, so you don't even need an O-ring tool. I don't even own one, mainly because I only use these worms with Nico rigs. But I'm gonna slide it down somewhere, I don't know, about halfway, maybe a little more than halfway, maybe somewhere right in there. I will take my finesse hook. I will grab a little bit of plastic, not too much, that O-ring, slide my hook point out. And one thing that's important is I'm bringing the bait towards me, right? So it's going backwards as I'm pulling it. So I like the hook to be pointing towards me and up, not back and in. So that way when the fish bites it this way, it's coming up into the roof of their mouth. So that's how I like to rig it. Now some people go super finesse. You can see I'm using a bait caster. This is a Lew's LFS, medium heavy rod, although there's a good tip to this rod so it bends. That gives me good casting ability with weightless worms, or in this case, a lightly weighted Nico rig. And this is about 12, it's either 12 or 14 pound fluorocarbon. I really don't go much lighter than that. I think this is 14 pound. I don't really see that it makes that much of a difference in fish biting. Some guys in the north in super clear water though may differ, and you may want to go lighter with maybe 8 pound test, but I've got 14 right now. All right, let's see if there's more out there. There's one. All right, I don't know if you saw that, but I saw a little hole in the grass. Pitched it in there and caught a nice little chunk out here in this pond. Got him right in the nose. O-ring is attached. Pop that out. My worm is right down there, floating in the water. But another little chunk. So these are healthy fish out here in this little pond. There's my worm. All right, that one shook out my no weight again. I can tell that the nose of that worm is kind of blown out a little bit. So I'm just gonna bite that part off right there. And instead of a 6-inch worm, it'll be a 5.5-inch worm or so. I bit about that much off. Now I'll just put the nail right back in there and get back after them. I do believe that the floating worm is the trick that really helps accelerate bites on a Nico rig, because that floating tail that just stands up and that little trick tail, man, it just gets it done. That time I pitched it right into a hole in the grass over there, and as it was sinking, that bass hit it. Checked him, made sure he was on, and he was. Set the hook. Now that I know he was kind of hiding in a hole, I'm gonna go pick apart a couple of these other holes in the grass and pitch to him and see if we can't get at least one more. Maybe I've been out here about 30 minutes. Let's see if we can catch one more, and then we'll call it a wrap. There's one. That was a little guy. We got him chewing that worm and got him again, that time in the bottom of the mouth. Little guy came out of the grass and ate that one. Get that out of him real quick. Get him back in the water. All right, guys, that's gonna be a wrap for me out here on this pond. As you can tell, or maybe you can't tell, there's a bad storm about to roll through Dallas, so I need to get out of here. It's supposed to be pretty bad. Rain, hail, thunder, etc. But the Nico rig is what got it done today. I consider this to be the best pond fishing bait because that hook can stay off the bottom. You avoid all that pond scum, and quite honestly, it just flat out catches fish. Caught 3 pretty quickly, and then the bite kind of died off. But 2 of them ate it on the fall, 1 ate it off the bottom. Let me know below if you think this is the best pond fishing lure, or if you disagree, comment below which one you think is the best. And make sure you subscribe right here to the Monster Bass channel and to my channel, Fishing the Lone Star. It'll be linked below. Help me reach 1 million subscribers. We're almost there. We're so close. Not really. But anyways, make sure you check out Monster Bass, the better bag. Hey, Monster Bass, go catch one.